It's a petrol stove, and it's a very short little physics lesson for you. You put the petrol in here, in this tank, you pump it here, with this pump here, and it goes out through this pipe, heats up over the stove, which is blowing like this, turns it into a gas. The gas goes through the pipe, then through the bottom, and comes out as a gas. And it's a gas, basically a gas stove that's used petrol. The only problem is that when you light it at the beginning, it's cold, the pipe, so gas doesn't come out of here but petrol, and it makes a flame about this high when you start. That's why it's very important when you use it, when you start, that you've got enough height above you, and that you don't bend over like that when you light it because you burn your hair, and you don't have it in a tent. Never use it in a tent because it will burn a tent or a tree that's hanging over. Just about the fuel is the petrol stove, which in German is Benzin, or in America gasoline or gas. Don't use paraffin, which is kerosene or petroleum in German. Don't use that, and don't use diesel because it won't work. And often you can go to a specialist camping shop and get some super clean fuel, which is quite expensive, so it goes in there. But you can use ordinary petrol if you can get it from a petrol station, if they'll fill a small bottle, Li-Fi or lead-free petrol. So the best thing is to have a container like this to use, and when you come to use it through changes in temperature, there'll be pressure in here, and what you do is you unscrew the top and press it down, and then it lets the air in or out here. And to fill the cooker, once you've taken the top off, you press down here first, then tip it, then you can tip the fuel in. So you've got your stove, it's got fuel in it. Put the feet out first. You can transport it with fuel in, just make sure that everything's closed up and there's no pressure in there when you transport it. So put your legs out, put it in a stable base, make sure, as I said, you've got enough height above you, and then there's a sign here, you can zoom in, Nicole, that shows you low and high. So make sure it's in this clip, make sure it's off first, like that, and then you pump it. And this is the pump, and as you can see, there's a tiny hole here. If you just pump like that, then it doesn't work. It's just like a safety mechanism. So you put your finger on the end when you pump. But it also won't work because there's a safety lock as well. So it says here you have to unlock by turning it like that. So and then you can, so it's unlocked and your finger on top, and then you can pump and put pressure in. Start with about 20. When you light it, as I said, you've got your space above you, it's stable, and then you turn on the gas and light the match. Don't hang around. I do it that way around. I light the match and then I turn it on. You can hear that noise, and this big flame first of all comes up, as you can see. It should be quite wicked if you're in a tent, and that heat will warm up this pipe so the fuel vaporizes, and then it'll turn into a nice hot flame. So you have to wait a minute. Obviously if it's windy, you have to put a windshield around it like that, with a rucksack or something, or a bit of cardboard. So what I'm going to do now is hold at the base, unscrew this and put more pressure on. Now, as you can see, it's starting to go properly. You don't want too much pressure at the beginning, that's why I only did 20 at the beginning. And I can do a few more, and you can see the flame's getting better. And now I'll give it lots of pumps. You can pump really till it's too hard to pump, so you've got those in there. Like that, so it sends into proper flame. Now when this tank's very full, you can't pump much air into the base, into here. You have to keep repumping every 5 minutes. And when it's nearly empty, you can pump loads at the beginning, and it'll last till the fuel's run out. Now you're cooking. If you want to regulate it, you turn this handle here, but it's very, very difficult to get it quite low. If it goes off by that way, like that, turn it on very quickly so the pipe doesn't cool down. And again, be careful of the big flame. When you've finished, you just turn it off, and then make sure it's off first, and let the pressure out here by unscrewing this a bit. And just let it cool down somewhere where it's not touching the tent wall or anything like that, and don't burn yourself. So let it cool down with that loose, but don't forget when you put it back into your rucksack the next day to take it with you, don't forget to do it up again, otherwise you get petrol all over everything. So that's it. That is your wonderful Coleman stove. Buy one now and be happy for life.